welcome back to the last video in my spring homeschool prep series. If you haven't watched the other ones, I put up one about questions to consider before you start homeschool shopping, one to consider while you're doing it, and last week's was small changes that I start making now in preparation for our school year. Number one, the dreaded decluttering. Since we're a military family, I declutter a lot with our homeschool because the weight of all the books adds up so quickly. But even if you aren't, just starting to get rid of all those things that you're not going to use. Maybe with your youngest, start setting aside the things that as he finishes up or she finishes up, the curriculum that's been sitting on your shelf for years or the resources, and you've not touched them, pass them on to another homeschool family, even if it's something you love. If it's not being used for whatever reason, you might as well pass it on to someone else who will love it. To go along with that is to start clearing out papers. Have your kids clean out their binders and be really selective about what you keep. Ask your kids what they want to keep. Ask yourself what you want to keep. But having a limited space to define yourself and just filling those and then getting rid of everything else after that is so helpful for keeping just helpful. And it's something I struggle with. I especially always want to keep my planners, and what I've started doing is just tearing out the weeks that for whatever reason I want to keep. Like mine that I use now has a special spot for memorable moments, and I try to write something down every week. So I kind of judge what I keep based on those. So number 1 and 2, decluttering your supplies and clearing out papers. Next is to go ahead and start creating a list of all the supplies that you might be running low on. I put the list up, it's hanging up in my schoolroom. And then as I start running low on anything, I put it up, I write it down, or the kids write it down. That way when back to school sales start, I know what I need and I'm ready to get them and get in there on the first day before they run out of the needed supplies. While I'm doing these things, I like to turn on podcasts that I find more inspirational. Ones like Brave Writer and Read Aloud Revival. They're good, encouraging, inspirational ones to listen to while I'm doing these. By this spring, and I'm kind of running on fumes, these are a great way to kind of refresh myself for the rest of the school year and looking ahead towards next school year. To go along with the inspirational podcasts, I start listening to podcasts that are more like how-tos and lectures. People like Susan Wise Bauer from Well Trained Mind, Andrew Pudwa, talking about things like teaching writing, teaching middle school, different subjects, teaching high school, different subjects. I really find good inspiration from there, even if I don't necessarily follow the exact methods. I get a lot of really good food for thought. So I will link some of those sites downstairs where I get them. Another one is I don't know how to pronounce it, CIRCE, C-I-R-C-E Institute. They have a lot of really inspirational podcasts. Some inspirational, but some more like how-to lecture type ones. Next thing I do is start putting in the books that we're going to need for next year. On my library's website, and I'll enter some footage here, I can make lists of however many lists I want, but I'll make one for history and one for science and one for each of the kids. And I start adding books to there. That way when it's time when I'm going to need them, I can just go through each week and select which ones I want, request them, they will pull them for me, and all I have to do is go to the library and grab them. We've used these on all the library systems that we've been through, so definitely check your library and see if they have it. It's a wonderful resource and a great way to have it in there, because honestly, if I have to every week search for what books I want, request them, and whatever, it's not likely to get done. Next tip. This, I would say, is the most important one if you do nothing else to prepare yourself, and that is to evaluate what has gone well this school year, what has not gone well, and why. Did you plan really well? Did you plan too much and feel boxed in? Are there routines and habits that, for yourself, in my case, often, or the kids that need to be cemented or switched around a little bit for next year? Really think about what's gone well and what's not gone well. Ask your kids. I always find great information and feedback by asking my kids what they think. Did you have enough fun this school year? Did you have too much fun at the expense of not getting bookwork done? Yeah, I think that's one of the most important thing. If you do nothing else, that way you have several months to replicate the things that went well and figure out how to fix the things that did not go well. Next, I start evaluating what the physical changes in our schoolroom need to be. Do I need more shelving? This year I need new desk lights for the kids. We don't have good lighting in this schoolroom at all. So I want to get each of them a desk lamp. I'm hoping to find a clip-on one, but something. And they need new chairs as well. So just think about those kind of things. Do you need better storage? Do you need some shelving? Pepper and Pine has inspired me to get some individual wall shelves for the schoolroom to display more of what we use and what we do. So I would like to get some of that. And I want to paint as well. So just think about your schoolroom and think about what physical things you need to make your schoolroom better. Next step. Start making a list of the field trips that you may want to take next year. If you're like me, I found it very helpful to go ahead and schedule them in on dates. I tried several years just making a list, and then I tried doing it by season or by month, but what I found for the best follow-through for us is to put them down for a date. Of the ones I did that with this year, we have not gone on a single one on the actual date that I planned, but because I see it and it's fresh in my mind, I make sure that we are doing it. So I will definitely carry that over for next year. It's obviously too early to start putting food up in the freezer. We've got 5 months, whatever, till the next school year. But this is a great time to start looking for ideas, for new inspiration, start making a list of things that you know you want to put in there. I have a couple freezer food videos already up, others in the works. Internet is full of them, so it's a great time to just start thinking about that, trying out recipes. That way come July and August, you can start putting things in your freezer to make your fall go more smoothly. And the last thing, I like to try to take 2 Coursera courses every summer. I try to do a history one or some kind of English language arts related one, and then some type of a science one. They may not be tied directly to what I'm going to teach the next school year, but they're things that either just give me background information or help me make connections or just something I find interesting. If you don't know, Coursera is a free site. The lectures are all taught by professors. So some of them are better than others, honestly, but there are videos and then questions, kind of quizzes that go along with it. You don't have to do the quizzes. I sometimes do, I sometimes don't. But they're good and they're helpful for me as I prepare for the next school year. If you want to dig even deeper, there are the great courses that you can get through Audible, through their website. Some libraries even have them. Those are fantastic. There are audio versions and there's video versions. And the courses tend to be pretty specific, but they're really good. I get so much information out of them, but I really have to really concentrate. I try to do one every summer, but Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. If you want to dig even deeper, MIT, Stanford, a lot of colleges offer a lot of their courses for free. Now you're not going to obviously get the same interaction and feedback, all that, whatever, but you can take a lot of great courses. It's a great resource for your high school students as well, but if you want to dig into them, to dig deeper, it's a great way to get high-level quality instruction for free and prepare yourself for what you will be teaching next school year. So those are 12 of the ways I prepare myself in our schoolroom for the coming year. If you have a way, I'd love for you to leave it below. Be sure to check out the playlist. You can see the rest of the videos in this series. And thanks for watching.